Bella. Bella. Okay, any day now I'm going to figure this out. That's fine.
Class of 2016. Squad. Fam. As the story goes, you walk onto campus the first day and suddenly nothing is real anymore. Everything is a question. Where am I? Who are these people and what's hidden behind those smiles? The first time I saw Harkness Tower, tall and unshakable, brimming beneath an unforgiving sky, I swore this was a place I could not climb. These stories were not written for us. These hollowed halls could not hold us. But stand here today. There is a moment when it hits you, what it means to have arrived here. Perhaps in your family who might be on a college campus for the first time. Perhaps in the friends who've carried you all along. Perhaps in the people who could not be here, but whose weight you shoulder still, and all this work, all this weight. I think joy is the moment you realize that you survived all of this and managed to come out here today with a smile still. Joy is 1,000 people dancing on cross campus, finding air in the moment and love in whatever tomorrow brings. Joy is everything that tried to stop us has failed. Joy is as long as I'm breathing, I'm doing something right. Joy is taking that class, getting a C, but it was credit D fail, so I'm all right. Joy is not knowing what the future is, but still, I'm all right. Joy is looking in the mirror 4 years later and saying, damn, I'm all right. Families, friends, teachers, everyone. Today, we out here. We been here. And I wish all of us as much joy as we can find on this day, Class Day 2016.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, friends, family, and the class of 2016. Thank you for coming from both nearby and as far away as Japan, Argentina, and TD. Seniors, congratulations on surviving Myrtle and Senior Week. I'm Gabby Fong.
And I'm Jamie Halberstam.
Yeah. And as your class officers, we are beyond excited to kick off Class Day celebrations.
Tomorrow, we will leave Yale with a wealth of experience in our backpacks. We will look back at our accomplishments, whatever shape they may take. Gabby was the first woman to lead the Yale NROTC battalion.
Jamie was a Wogue Scholar and a Feb Club All-Star.
But in the years ahead, it is the experiences, more so than the accomplishments, that we will recall so fondly. We were masked at Masquerade and unveiled at Erotica. We've argued the merits of titles and residential college names. We witnessed the fall of safety dance and the rise of 2 new residential colleges. But most importantly, we went through this together as part of the collective experience of the class of 2016.
Today, we will reflect on these experiences and more as we celebrate our time here at Yale. We will hear our classmates reflect through speech and song and poetry. We will celebrate our classmates' accomplishments, we will look back at our own, and we will imagine our future ones.
Before we turn over the stage, we want to thank you, fellow graduates, for your ability to rally for 29 days of February, 7 days of Senior Week, and 4 entire years. And for your ability to remain so lit, but not as lit as the toad ceiling last night. Our time at Yale has been so wonderful because of each and every one of you. It has been a joy serving as your class officers, even if you waited until last week to pick up your senior dues sticker.
We also want to take a moment to thank all of our parents, family, friends, faculty, and mentors. Without your guidance and support, we would not be who we are today. It is because you saw our potential and invested in us that we will graduate tomorrow. Thank you for being our support systems.
In closing, we hope that the community we celebrate today continues to grow and that we continue to bask in the reflected glory. Here's to our experiences, past, present, and future. Welcome to Class Day.
On behalf of the class of 2016, Katayan and I are excited to introduce, from the Yale College Class of 1992, a member of President Obama's cabinet and U.S. Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Samantha Power.
When Ben and I learned that Ambassador Power had accepted our invitation to speak, we were ecstatic. Hailed as the new conscience of American foreign policy, she continues to inspire us through her perseverance, bravery, and passion. During her time here at Yale, she was a member of Davenport College. and wrote for the sports section of the Yale Daily News. After Yale, she worked as a war correspondent, reporting on the Yugoslav wars. At Harvard Law School, Ambassador Power studied humanitarian law and genocide, eventually transforming one of her papers into the Pulitzer Prize-winning book, A Problem from Hell, America and the Age of Genocide. In 2005, then-Senator Obama asked to meet with Ambassador Power after reading her book. By the end of dinner, Obama asked her to take a leave of absence from her professorship to come work with his Senate staff. But there was one problem. Moving to Washington would require Power, a die-hard Boston sports fan, to give up her newly acquired and highly coveted season tickets to the Boston Red Sox.
As a New Yorker, I still can't understand why the choice was so difficult. But she went to Washington, and after President Obama was elected in 2008, she was appointed to the National Security Council. And in 2013, President Obama appointed Power as the United States Permanent Representative to the United Nations. She is the youngest person ever to hold this office. In her work as our nation's representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Power has been a champion for the marginalized and for the repressed. In 2014, she took a leading role in the global fight against Ebola. Despite widespread fear and mandated quarantines, Ambassador Power traveled to the most affected West African countries at the height of the epidemic, rallying the international community to help stop the outbreak. In part, thanks to her tremendous efforts, the largest outbreak of Ebola in history has ended. Back in New York, Ambassador Power became the first to chair a UN Security Council session on LGBTQ issues, the first to link human rights in North Korea with international security, and the first to place human trafficking and sexual slavery on the Security Council's agenda.
Now, given all of these firsts, you may be surprised to hear that Ambassador Power never quite achieved her first dream, to play basketball on Yale's varsity team. But I guess she just had to settle for second best.
Do you mean those headache-inducing meetings with the Russians? Ambassador Power, we talked with Coach Guth, and we're sorry, but you still won't make the basketball team. We were, however, able to pull a few strings. So here is your very own Yale basketball jersey. family, friends, members of the class of 2016, please join us in welcoming Ambassador Samantha Power.
Good afternoon, class of 2016. For starters, I think I owe you an apology. I know what you were thinking. 2014, John Kerry. 2015, Joe Biden. Then 2016 rolls around and your class day speaker still hasn't been announced, and you start thinking, okay, Secretary of State, then Vice President, who else would follow naturally in the hierarchy, and then boom! You get the US ambassador to what? Biggest disappointment since they canceled Safety Dance. Or, to get more specific, as one of your classmates summed it up on Facebook, yeah, thanks. How come 2014 and 2015 got Kerry and Biden, and we get this rando? So, sorry for being the rando. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay, really. It's okay. Since I went to school here, right here, I have been blessed to be able to do some pretty amazing things. None more extraordinary than getting to serve every day as the American ambassador to the United Nations. But getting to be back at Yale with you on this day is a life highlight. It is an honor to speak at any university on such a day. But this is no ordinary university. This is Yale. And I am floored and very, very humbled. 3 special shout-outs. First, to the parents, step-parents, and other loved ones of the graduates. Let's give them a huge round of applause for all they have sacrificed to make this weekend, and in many ways, this life, possible. Second, I have to give a special congrats to the Davenport grads, because some colleges are more equal than others. And finally, a shout out of commiseration to the seniors from Saybrook. Who I gather, word travels, I gather have had a rough year, especially when it comes to laundry. Too soon? When I sat where you are sitting today, more than 2 decades ago, or as you may think of that time, not long after Homo sapiens began to walk upright, and the tectonic plates came together to form the Himalayas, the Yale Bowl, and Science Hill, I would never have imagined that I, an Irish immigrant and Atlanta public high school grad, would one day get the chance to come back to Yale in this capacity. Never. Indeed, when I was a day's freshman holed up in Bingham, right over there, or grabbing lunch in Commons at the Schwartzman Center. Sorry. Or spending my senior year in in McClellan as a freshman counselor right there. If in any one of those incarnations, if someone had tried to tell me that I would one day be Yale Class Day speaker, I would have said that they had clearly been taking Maury's punch intravenously. This would have seemed even more unlikely than my beloved Red Sox winning 3 World Series in a decade. Even lower odds than an African American whose first name was one consonant removed from the world's most infamous terrorist becoming president, and just about as inconceivable as it becoming the law of the land in America that anyone can marry the person they love. But somehow, here I am. I have received 2 monumental breaks in my life, without which I would not be here. The first came when I was 9, and my mother decided to bring my younger brother, Stephen, and me to the United States from Dublin, Ireland. The second came in 1988 when I arrived home from high school basketball practice in Atlanta one day to find that my then 13-year-old brother had laid out all the college admissions letters on our dining room table, including a thick manila envelope with the capital Navy Y and a New Haven return address, telling me that against all odds, I had been accepted here. At that time, I had never before even visited the Northeast. I gotta admit, I was far from a superstar here at Yale. I had been an avid basketball player in high school, but I wasn't good enough to play on the Yale varsity team, though now, thanks to Ben and Katayan, I can wear the jersey and tell people I did. But I didn't make the cut. I became, instead, a fanatical intramural sports player. And this is rather embarrassing to unearth, but I was actually voted by my senior year Davenport classmates not most likely to succeed, but most likely to come back from the intramural fields with bloody knees. That was an actual award they gave out. I think it hasn't been given out since, I hope. I also tried my hand at sports reporting for the Yale Daily News. Now, you might be thinking, Samantha Power, eventual contributor to The Economist and The New Yorker, turns to writing at Yale and discovers she's a natural. Well, thanks to the internet, we can let some of my early reporting speak for itself. Here's how I opened my very first article in September 1988, just having arrived on campus. Quote, "Volleyballs aren't the only things high up in the air this week for the women's volleyball team. So are expectations and spirits." End quote. Ouch. Or consider this. I really got better quickly. March 1989, quote, "The a cappella group Something Extra sang the national anthem before Saturday night's Yale-Cornell women's basketball game, and the Blue were well aware that it would take something extra, or rather, something extraordinary, for them to win," end quote. Really? Early in my sophomore year, I was briefly given a sports column called Power Play, whose name, judging from my abuse of puns in the other articles, was probably my idea. Mercifully, it seems only to have run a couple times. But instead of throwing myself into journalism, I mostly held back. I wrote articles the way I wrote my class papers, last minute, without investing the time or energy it takes to get better. When you risk little, you can't be disappointed if you don't excel. You are not failing to thrive, you just aren't trying. These were my unconscious alibis. And then, at the end of my freshman year here, a pair of lightning bolts hit. The first came in a class. During my freshman spring, Professor Victor Luftig was teaching an advanced seminar on modern Irish literature, which I'd managed to talk my way into. I had signed up for the course because I'd already read most of the books and figured I could coast through on being originally Irish. At the end of the year, I walked to the professor's office right over there in LC, and I fished my paper out of the pile and found a long handwritten note on the last page. The note was utterly eviscerating. Professor Luftig called me out for never making a serious effort, questioning why I had fought for a seat in the class when I didn't care to do the work. And he talked about how disrespectful it was to the other students, to the literature, and most of all, to myself. I walked into the professor's office and I held up his note. "This is harsh," I said. "You deserved it," he shot back. And he was right. And the same judgment really could have been made about my entire freshman year here. I hadn't put my heart into it. And although I wasn't conscious of doing so, I was keeping myself at a distance. I could remain the carefree outsider, never getting hurt, because I would never make myself vulnerable by going all in. The second lightning bolt struck just a few weeks later when I was back in Atlanta, where I had lined up a summer internship with the local CBS sports affiliate. I was sitting in a video booth taking notes on a Braves-Padres game when I spotted something out of the corner of my eye coming from another live feed. It was from Tiananmen Square in China, where students my age, your age, had gathered to ask their government to grant them fundamental freedoms. And I watched, frozen, with my clipboard in hand, as tanks rolled into the square and soldiers opened fire on the protesters. Watching those students who were risking their freedom and even their lives for their rights brought home just how little I had put on the line. I knew that I wanted to be all in for something and to do what little I could to help people who were fighting for their dignity. And while I didn't yet know what that meant, or how I was going to do it, or whether I could do it, my compass had been reset. So when the iconic photo of the man standing in front of a tank in Tiananmen Square appeared on the cover of Time magazine, I tore it out and put it up in my dorm room as a reminder of what it meant to take real risks. The worst that could happen to me at Yale was that I would study zealously and end up with a middling grade. What was so risky about that? I share this personal experience with you because when someone is introduced at an event like this one, the bio often implies that they have walked a linear and preordained path to get where they are. Nobody tells you that your class day speaker wrote a remarkably mediocre sports column with a lame name in the college paper that was discontinued. Your class chairs didn't open up. Samantha Power spent her freshman year at Yale mailing it in and wondering whether she deserved to be here. But everyone has voices in their heads that tell them that everyone else is more capable. I even have a name for the place where those voices live. I call it my bat cave. Bats flying around. Call it what you want, everybody's got one. A healthy dose of self-doubt is a good thing. It is the sister of humility, which is a great thing. The trick is not letting the voices that live in your Batcave hold you back from pursuing your path. And that was what I realized at the end of my freshman year here. I didn't want to go through my time at Yale or anywhere else giving myself alibis for not trying to change at least my little slice of the world, especially when there were people out there who were risking so much more. But my question was, how was I going to do that? And that's what I want to speak to you about today. My message is, no matter what you choose to do with your life, if you truly want to live fully and leave the world a little better than you found it, You have to get close. The great photographer Robert Capa, who shot some of the most iconic photos of the Second World War, put it this way: if your pictures aren't good enough, you aren't close enough. Now, rest assured, parents, the message of your child's graduation speech is not go stand in front of a tank or go report on a civil war, but the message is that if you want to have a deep impact on what matters to you, don't do things at remove. Invest yourself fully. Get close. Now, what does that even mean? First, getting close means moving beyond approaching an issue through the screen on your laptop or phone or the filter of someone else's interpretation, and instead finding a way to get to know the individuals whose lives are impacted. By hearing people's experiences firsthand, whether the people who live in your buildings, if you become an architect, the people who work for you, if you run a small business, or big business for that matter, or the people who are suffering injustice if you become a full-time advocate, you will see what cannot later be unseen. You don't have to look far for models of how to do this. I found my own in my own home. My mother is a kidney doctor, and I've never seen anyone relate to the people she's treating in the way that she does. When I was a kid, she would come home and share such vivid details about the lives of her patients, details that had nothing to do with their physical conditions, that it was as if the patients themselves were telling jokes and sharing their sagas at the dinner table with us. She got close. My father, who's here today, is retired, but always a devourer of history. He became a continuing education student not that long ago at Columbia University, and recently has decided to explore the history of Islam. When he stays overnight at our apartment to help babysit my kids, I can hear the loud and persistent scrape of his pencil on his history and theology texts from the next room, deep into the night. He brings his professors and his classmates to the UN gallery when we have public sessions of the UN Security Council on Syria or Iran. I've been lucky enough to wear a number of different professional hats over my career, and with each one, getting close has made me care more about and get better at what I worked at. Soon after I graduated from Yale, I became consumed with the conflict at the time in the Balkans and decided to move to Bosnia to try to report on the war's devastating human consequences. As a journalist there, I had occasion to interview Bosnian families, religious leaders, and militia, as well as UN peacekeepers and humanitarians. When I was an academic researching American foreign policy, getting close meant interviewing hundreds of policymakers who had made the decisions I was studying in order to try to understand their calculus. And of course, as a diplomat, I try to get out to the field as often as I can to meet people whose lives are affected by US and UN policies, whether that's the doctors and nurses running an Ebola treatment clinic or a Nigerian girl struggling to rebuild her life after having been abducted by Boko Haram. This brings me to my second point. To really get close to an issue, you must seek out ways to see the world and its problems from a radically different perspective from the one that comes naturally to you. This is hardly a new challenge. For example, a previous Yale Class Day speaker lamented the fact that, quote, "We subject all facts to a prefabricated set of interpretations. We enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought," end quote. That was John F. Kennedy in 1962. But the problem has only become worse. From the Facebook and Twitter feeds we monitor to the algorithms that determine the results of our web searches based on our previous browsing history and location, our major sources of information are increasingly engineered to reflect back to us the world as we already see it. They give us the comfort of our opinions without the discomfort of thought. So you have to find a way to break out of your echo chambers. This is tougher than it sounds, especially when it comes to the issues you care most about. but it is in your interest to engage the people you disagree with rather than shutting them out or shutting them up. Not only because it gives you a chance to challenge their views and maybe even change them, but also because sometimes they may just be right. When I started as the US ambassador to the UN 3 years ago, I made up my mind that since I wouldn't be able to travel to every country in the world, truly getting close, I'd at least try to visit as many ambassadors from the 192 other UN member states as I could. I decided that I didn't want to go into the meetings with a set of asks, as I normally do. I just wanted to get to know a little more about the issues that mattered most to them, how they had become diplomats, what books and keepsakes they had brought with them all the way from home, and the art and photos they had chosen to put up on their walls. So far, I visited the ambassadors of 164 countries. The ambassador from Zambia told me how HIV/AIDS had ravaged her country. A pediatrician before becoming a diplomat, she said that at the peak of the epidemic, she could hardly rally herself to go to work in the morning because, as she put it, there was nothing I could do to help my babies. But she cared too much to quit. At the Cuban mission to the UN, which I was the first US ambassador to visit in a half-century, photographs of Che Guevara and Fidel Castro still line the halls. The ambassadors of many small island nations have told me about witnessing climate change transform their countries in their lifetimes, seeing the villages where they grew up completely flooded. One of these ambassadors brought the stakes home to me recently and unforgettably. He said, "I just don't know where all of my people will go. Who will take us?" Now imagine if you live on a small island state. Imagine what that means and what your future looks like. Third, if you really want to make change, it's rarely enough to get close yourself. You also have to bring others close with you, helping them see issues that can otherwise feel far removed or invisible in their daily lives. Consider here the work of one of your classmates, Sarah Yazji, a Syrian American. Where's Sarah? I hope she's at class day. Hi, Sarah. Sarah probably didn't know this was coming. Sarah is a Syrian American who made multiple trips to volunteer in refugee camps and clinics along the border with Syria, where she witnessed firsthand all the needs that were going unmet, from undersupplied medical clinics to schools that didn't have room to take in more kids. In her sophomore year, she and other students raised more than $30,000 to aid Syrian refugees and support hospitals still operating in Syria. But Sarah and her fellow students didn't just rally support, they also brought what was happening to Syrians close to people here at Yale. Like the time in December when they blanketed the quad across campus with miniature flags, each of which represented approximately 50,000 displaced Syrians. Or like the time when they drew the chalk outlines of footsteps along walkways all around campus, making visible the millions of miles that Syrians have traveled to seek refuge in neighboring countries. Through these and so many other actions, Sarah and other students made people see the millions of Syrian refugees not as abstract masses, but as individuals, just like them, just like us. And in so doing, motivated more people to get involved. My fourth and final point is that getting close and staying close requires patience and impatience at once. Look at the history of any great rights struggle, and you will see that when it moved forward at all, it was always in a 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back fashion. Or, as the late great UN diplomat Sergio Vieira de Mello put it, history is not in a hurry. So if you are setting out to make a slice of the world better, you must go in knowing that real change often requires a long struggle. That doesn't mean being patient in the face of injustice, because while history may not be in a hurry, you can and you must speed it up. Indeed, the struggle to advance basic human rights has almost always been driven by people who refuse to accept that any one of us should have to wait until tomorrow for the dignity that every one of us deserves today. It is because history is not in a hurry that we must always bring a healthy skepticism to claims that the great rights struggles are behind us and that we have mostly achieved the equality we seek. Few have rebutted this myth more eloquently than Franklin. And here I'm not talking about Benjamin Franklin or Aretha Franklin, but the late African-American historian John Hope Franklin. Born in 1915, John Hope Franklin played a key role on the NAACP team that brought the case for Brown v. Board of Education. But his greatest contribution was his life's work documenting the history of slavery and its enduring and deeply corrosive impact on American life. Here's what Franklin said in 1992, not long after the police's beating of Rodney King set off the LA riots. Quote, "A colorblind society does not exist in the United States and never has existed. Those who insist we should conduct ourselves as if such a utopian state already existed have no interest in achieving it and indeed would be horrified if we even approached it," end quote. Again, those who insist we should conduct ourselves as if such a utopian state already existed have no interest in achieving it and indeed would be horrified if we even approached it. That was true in 1992, and it is true in 2016. And it applies not only to enduring racial issues that have been brought to the surface in places like Ferguson, Baltimore, and Cleveland, but to so many other persistent forms of inequality and prejudice. Take the ongoing struggle for women's equality. Now, no one can dispute the progress made in the world, in this country, in this university. Here is what the freshman handbook said in 1970, 2 years after Yale first admitted women. "Treat Yale as you would a good woman. Take advantage of her many gifts. Nourish yourself with the fruit of her wisdom. Curse her if you will, but congratulate yourself in your possession of her." Wow. Simply, wow. So, a lot has changed. But while so much has changed, consider this. While Yale was founded roughly 3/4 of a century before our nation declared its independence, Yale, like the United States, has never had a woman president, except for the great scholar Hannah Gray, who held the role temporarily for a year when her predecessor left suddenly. Another data point. Since I graduated way back in 1992, only 4 other women have been your class day speaker, which makes sense in a way because it's not as though there are any amazing women out there who attended Yale. I mean, it's not like the first ever Latina Supreme Court justice went to Yale, or the first woman to chair the Federal Reserve, or the woman who designed our nation's transcendent Vietnam War Memorial. So I get it. Amazing Yale women grads are hard to find. But more important than this, of the 669 women graduating today, I'm willing to bet that every one of you knows what it feels like to be treated differently because you are a woman. Many of the same dynamics play themselves out at the United Nations. Of the 15 countries with a seat on the UN Security Council, only one, the United States, is represented by a woman. 1 for 15. In 2016, the UN is currently in the process of selecting a new Secretary General, a position that in the organization's 70-year history has never been held by a woman. Not long ago, I was discussing the race with another ambassador to the UN, and I made the point that it is important that women be encouraged to apply. In response, this ambassador asked, "Do you want to look at a pretty girl, or do you want someone who can actually get the job done for women?" I was shocked, but maybe I shouldn't have been. By the way, it's not like the US government has figured this out either. Consider our national security workforce, which I hope many of you will join one day. Minorities still make up less than 20% of senior diplomats and less than 15% of senior military and intelligence officials. That is an imbalance that deprives us of some of our nation's brightest minds, and addressing it is a national security imperative. My point is not that the UN, Yale, or the US national security establishment have done a particularly poor job of embracing diversity. My point is that the enduring inequalities we see in institutions like these reflect systemic injustices that persist in our societies, to the detriment not only of the people who are subjected to discrimination, but to all of us. And acting as if we have overcome these entrenched biases is part of the problem. To the vast majority of you, this is obvious. To some of you, it is something you have experienced personally. You may come from a country where you cannot openly practice your religion without risking attacks or persecution. You may have felt it on this very campus when the gate to your residential college was closed and locked as you walked toward it. You may have felt it living in a college named for a man who once argued that enslaving your ancestors was a positive good. You may have felt it upon hearing US politicians call on our country to ban people of your faith. So when you hear people claim that the work is finished, you say, "Not for me, it's not. Not for us." And some of you have poured a lot of yourselves into these and other struggles over the past 4 years. If you have, you might look at all that remains unchanged and feel discouraged. Whether that's inside Yale with the name of a college that did not change, or a faculty that doesn't look as diverse as you and the rest of America, or outside Yale in the horrific plight of refugees whose situation only seems to get worse despite all that you and your classmates have done to try to make it better. But whether serving others is your full-time job or a part-time vocation, setbacks like these are not just probable, they are inevitable. And the more you get close, the more of yourself you put into these struggles, and the more you make yourself vulnerable, the harder these setbacks will hit you, the more they will hurt. But the progress that you make in advancing the rights of others, and you will make progress, will more than sustain you. Because in fighting for the dignity of others, you will find a humbling yet profound sense of your own worth. That is a lesson I take from the life of Pauli Murray, a Yale grad who dedicated her life to struggles for equality and human dignity. Now, I admit that I hadn't heard of Murray before Yale decided to name a residential hall in her honor. In learning about her, what struck me was not only how ahead of her time she was in the struggles for equality that she waged, it was also how often she lost, despite being on the side of what was right. In 1938, she applied but was denied admission from the University of North Carolina because she was black. In 1940, she refused to move to the back of a bus and was detained, and then refused to pay a fine for disobedience and went to jail. Not long after, she joined the legal defense team of a black sharecropper who she believed had been unjustly sentenced to death by an all-white jury. They lost the case, and then lost the appeal, and the man was executed in 1942. Those are just a few of the painful losses Murray endured. There were so many more. Yet, while it often looked like, in that moment, as if Murray had lost, history shows us that even in these losses, she moved the struggle forward, bringing injustice out into the open, exposing its ugliness, and chipping away at its foundation, little by little. Let me read you something Murray said in an interview later in her life, reflecting back on these efforts. In not a single one of these little campaigns was I victorious. In other words, in each case, I personally failed. But I have lived to see the thesis upon which I was operating vindicated. And what I very often say is that I've lived to see my lost causes found. I've lived to see my lost causes found. Many of the struggles for equality that Murray dedicated her life to are ones we continue to grapple with to this day. Who better than you to carry them forward? So, graduating class of 2016, as you embark on what I hope will be a life of embracing struggles like these, this is my message to you. Get close, go all in, get close to the people affected by your work, seek out perspectives different from your own, and work to bring others close with you. Know that history is not in a hurry, but that you can help speed it up. And recognize that while the journey will be long, and you will lose and lose again, it is the struggle itself that will define you. Do that, and you will not only find yourself fulfilled, but you too will live to see many of your lost causes found. Congratulations, class of 2016. We can't wait to see all the causes you will find. Thank you. We are counting on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Power. I think counter to the authoritative voice of Facebook, you're no rando. I will say, though, a few of you may recognize and know, in fact, when we walked up on the stage, you said as much, this is a tricky year. Ambassador, Metro North is $22 at peak, $16.50 off peak. Where were you? Could use some help up in this joint. Get close, you say. Come on. All right. Seniors, I have some business I need to conduct with you, but first I want to ask the following students to come up to the seats in the front row. William Tanner Allreed of Trumbull College. Aaron Benjamin Berman of Saybrook College. Rebecca Brudner of Branford College. Eva Fabian of Pearson College. Monica Hanoush of Pearson College. Charles Gunnar Kinzig of Berkeley College. Sebastian Medina Tayak of Davenport College. Justin Sears of Silliman College. Esha Shirley of Morse College. William August Tice of Berkeley College. Connie Lu Wang of Timothy Dwight College. So seniors, we need to do a little dress rehearsal for tomorrow. At commencement, there's going to be a point when I stand up here in front of you, stand up in front of President Salovey, and then present you to him so that you can receive your degrees. Now, please listen carefully. The last two sentences of my request to President Salovey are going to be, and I quote, "They have been recommended to me," I'll get this right tomorrow. "They have been recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation. I now ask you by your official act to confer upon them these degrees." When you hear these words, confer upon them these degrees, I want to hear you loud and clear. You're graduating from Yale College after all. Now, I'm reading from a script, as if I know you probably thought I was making all of this up, but I'm reading from a script, and it says us to do this twice. You are overachievers, we're gonna do this once. So, I'm gonna say my little piece, and you are going to bring the house down. They have been recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation. I now ask you by your official act to confer upon them these degrees. Fabulous job. Thank you very much. I now turn to Tom Beckett.
Will Eva, Fabian, and Justin Sears please come up to the stage? It is my honor to award the Elliott and Mallory Awards to the outstanding female athlete and male athlete in the class. Eva Fabian is one of the most prolific swimmers in the history of women's swimming at Yale. She owns 2 Yale records and is a 3-time first-team All-Ivy honoree. Eva was named this year the Ivy League Career High Point Champion. In addition to her collegiate success, Eva is also an outstanding international open water swimmer. Last summer, Eva won a gold medal at the Pan Am Games in Toronto. Eva is a music major and is an accomplished violinist. Congratulations, Eva. Justin Sears is the most decorated basketball player in Yale history on the most successful team in school history. He is a 2-time Ivy League Player of the Year, a 2-time All-American on the back-to-back Ivy League championship team. Justin is the only player in the history of Yale to score 1,700 points and grab 800 rebounds. Justin, along with his teammates and head coach James Jones, thrilled our Bulldog Nation with a spectacular victory over Baylor and a thrilling performance versus Duke in the NCAA tournament. Congratulations, Justin.
The Nakanishi Prize is awarded to 2 graduating seniors who, while maintaining high academic achievement, have provided exemplary leadership in enhancing race or ethnic relations at Yale College. This year's prizes are awarded to Sebastian Medina Tayak of Davenport College and Esha Shirley of Morse College. Sebastian Medina Tayak has spent his time at Yale building bridges among cultural centers, the broader Yale community, the city of New Haven, and beyond. Sebi has served as an active member of the Blue Feather Drum Group and the Association of Native Americans at Yale, and he has also been active in 2 cultural centers, La Casa and the Native American Cultural Center, bringing both together for events and social justice movements. He has made important connections with the broader Yale community by pairing New Haven community partners and Yale students. And as a journalist, he has forged ties between New Haven and its sister city in Tlaxcala, Mexico, where Sebi has traveled in order to publish a multimedia series on the transnational migrant community in the Independent and in the New Journal. For accomplishing so much in the service of race and ethnic relations, Yale College is honored to bestow the Nakanishi Prize upon Sebastian Medina Tayak. Esha Shirley, an African-American Studies major graduating with distinction, has been an active member of the college community since her freshman year, serving on the board of the Black Student Alliance at Yale in various roles, including vice president. She is as deeply invested in the Black community as she is in building the shared community across the cultural centers. A co-founder of Down Magazine, a publication to make space for all students of color to write and learn together, Esha has been described as, quote, a truth teller who illuminates challenges affecting her communities and roots them in history for greater context and understanding, always towards making progress. One of her nominators stated simply, Esha has made Yale a better place. In recognition of her many contributions to race and ethnic relations, Yale College is honored to bestow the Nakanishi Prize upon Esha Shirley. The James Andrew Haas Prize is awarded annually to that member of the senior class in Yale College whose breadth of intellectual achievement, strength of character, and fundamental humanity shall be adjudged by the faculty to have provided leadership for his or her fellow students, inspiring in them a love of learning and concern for others. This year, the Haas Prize is awarded to William Tanner Alreed of Trumbull College. William Tanner Alreed graduates with distinction in the history major and as an education studies scholar, with a record that reflects his forthright commitment to public service and the superb quality of his intellect and spirit. Tanner has impressively combined his academic pursuits with his concern for social justice, including his internships with Oklahoma Senator Tom Coburn and with the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for American Indians and Native Americans, as well as his roles within the Native American Cultural Center, Yale Faith in Action, and his fraternity, Beta Upsilon Chi. More than one of his instructors have expressed admiration for the way his generous spirit and quiet fortitude have made him an intellectual and social leader to his peers. Tanner will return to his home state of Oklahoma to become a teacher with Teach for America, and plans to attend law school in preparation for a continued life of service to others. For his many talents and for the humility with which he applies them, Yale College is proud to bestow the James Andrew Haas Memorial Prize for 2016 upon William Tanner Alreed.
When I first met my freshman year roommate, I was terrified. A member of the ROTC and the descendant of a long line of Air Force officers, he arrived on move-in day with his neatly trimmed military haircut and firmly addressed my parents as sir and ma'am. I, on the other hand, had long, luscious locks and was barely strong enough to carry in my suitcase. While he had grown up helping his dad fly airplanes, I was raised baking cookies with my grandma. He was the valorous young man proudly carrying on his forefathers' legacy. And I was a shy and insecure gay guy with one foot just beginning to inch out of the closet. There's no way I'm going to survive with someone like him, I thought. But one morning, a few months later, I awoke shortly before daylight. Still groggy and blurry-eyed, I was just alert enough to see my roommate, in uniform, pause by my bedside on his way to physical training, pick up the blanket I had kicked off in the middle of the night, and tuck me back in. With that one gesture, he shattered the profile I had constructed of him. Clearly, my new companion had a more nuanced story, one that I had just begun to discover. 4 years later, that aspiring Air Force pilot is one of my closest friends, one whom I have come to trust and admire, one in whom I have confided, and he in me, and one for whose company I am infinitely grateful. Looking back on our unexpected friendship, my roommate confessed that he too had to refine the narrative that he first assumed about me. Yeah, Daniel, he once reflected, I'd say you were an acquired taste. Fellow graduates, I share with you this story because it celebrates the work involved in building a community, a work in which we have all been deeply engaged these past 4 years. We arrived at Yale as detached individuals, many clinging to that thing that carried us past the admissions gate. But after our time of exchanging conversation in the dining hall, helping each other through all-night study sessions, and trudging side by side up Science Hill in the snow, we've adopted a shared experience. Look around at those sitting by your side. Some of the friends who are now near and dear perhaps immediately stood out as compatible with our own identities. We met them on the first day of Camp Yale and right away knew, you and I, we were made for each other. But I would wager that for each of us, there were moments in which building this community required that we make ourselves vulnerable. Vulnerable to telling our stories to others, yet vulnerable also to listening to the stories that others shared, allowing our assumptions about them to be challenged. Here, I cannot help but recall the afternoon last semester, when in the midst of new discourse on campus about identity, Dean Holloway and 200 students gathered around the women's table to speak and hear each other's personal narratives. That potent illustration of vulnerability on all sides was not a single day's event, but a representation of what it means to be part of the Yale community. Living and studying in this space has demanded that we look beyond labels and profiles and encounter each other instead sensitive to the many different textures that compose each person. And while our time on this campus now draws to a close, the relationships that we have forged here and our challenge to listen ever more closely to the voices around us continue. Just this past spring break, that same friend and I had planned for me to drive to Alabama to stay with him and his family, a visit that we have tried to arrange several times before. But yet again, I canceled at the last minute, figuring that, yet again, he would not really mind. This time, however, my friend was hurt. When we returned to school, he spoke of the fishing and shooting that he had wanted to teach me, and his candid tone of disappointment took me off guard. I guess that for all that I have learned about my companion over the past 4 years, I still sometimes brand him as the pilot in training, stoic and unemotional. And I guess I am still discovering just how much more intricate his narrative really is. So, come July or June, I'll be packing a duffel bag and heading down to Montgomery. It's already written on my calendar, in June, that's what I meant. This time in pen. My friend has forewarned me that when I get there, it might take some time for adjustment. Something about his high school buddies and a Jersey kid with a hoop earring throwing each other off balance. But I'm up for the task. Besides, I told him, when you come to visit me, my family and friends will probably have to acquire their taste for you too.
The Lewis Sudler Prizes for Excellence in the Performing and Creative Arts are awarded to 2 outstanding seniors, Rebecca Brudner of Brantford College and Monica Hanoush of Pearson College. Fiercely intelligent, ferociously talented, and hungry for artistic challenges, Rebecca Brudner is a star. A classically trained vocalist and skilled dancer, her breadth of talent is fortified by her abiding commitment to craft and technique. With the ability to move seamlessly across genres and styles, Rebecca's voice is by turns warm and sumptuous, brassy and beautiful. She can belt out a Broadway song or capture the nuances of a Baroque opera. As a dancer, she's equally versatile, and most recently, she's begun to create work in the genre known as devised theater. A theater studies major, Rebecca has the confidence, training, and sheer capacity for continuous development that separates those who perform well from those who will most certainly have active careers in the arts. For her dazzling accomplishments and her brilliant promise, Yale College is proud to award the Lewis Sudler Prize for Excellence in the Performing Arts to Rebecca Brudner. Monica Hanoush, a film and media studies major, is a playwright, lyricist, and essayist whose original musical, Under, staggered audiences in live performances both at Yale and at the New York International Fringe Festival. Entitled Under for Under Pressure, Under the Influence, and Undergraduate, the work provides a view into the tumultuous reality of the lives and relationships of Yale students who struggle with mental health. One of Monica's professors says, "No one else could write so unflinchingly about or capture so accurately the tithe of stress exacted by the elite college experience." In both her use of language and in striking wordless scenes, Monica evokes shock, pain, disgust, laughter, and breathtaking fear. For her past accomplishments on page and stage, and for her future work, Yale College is proud to award the Lewis Sudler Prize for Excellence in the Creative Arts to Monica Hanoush. The Warren Memorial High Scholarship Prize for the senior majoring in the humanities who ranks highest in scholarship is awarded this year to William August Tice of Berkeley College. In completing the intensive literature major with distinction, William August Tice has studied works in English, Latin, Greek, German, and Biblical Hebrew, while also serving as a foot leader and club hockey enthusiast. Elected to Phi Beta Kappa, William graduates summa cum laude with 39 credits, 37 of which are straight A. He is known as a scholar of great skill who constantly seeks to learn and grow. One of his literature professors notes, "He began my class an excellent student and has ended it as an extraordinary one." William's senior essay, Learned Dreaming and the Second I should have practiced this. Help me, second sophistic? All right, I knew it. William's senior essay, Learned Dreaming and the Second Sophistic in Early Modern Europe, has earned the Bianca Maria Finzi-Contini Calabresi Prize in Comparative Literature. That one I practiced. And he has been awarded the Gates Cambridge Scholarship to pursue an MPhil in Early Modern History next year. In recognition of his exceptional achievements, Yale College is proud to award the Warren Memorial High Scholarship Prize this year to William August Tice. The Arthur Twining Hadley Prize, which honors the memory of the man who served as president of Yale from 1899 to 1921, is awarded annually to the senior in Yale College majoring in the social sciences who ranks highest in scholarship. This year, the Hadley Prize is to be awarded to Connie Lu Wang of Timothy Dwight College. Connie Lu Wang is completing her Yale undergraduate career with majors in political science and psychology, having earned distinction in each. Elected to Phi Beta Kappa in her junior year, and having served as vice president of the Yale chapter, she graduates summa cum laude with a grade point average of 3.99, with a single grade of A- and 37.5 grades of straight A. A recent instructor describes her work as nuanced, thoughtful, insightful. Truly one of the most amazing students I've encountered in 30 years. Connie has served as an intern at the Yale Law Journal and at the ACLU of Southern California, and as the managing editor of Amicus, Yale's undergraduate law review. Last year, she spent the summer clerking for the National Center of Youth Law on a summer fellowship, administered by the Arthur Lyman Public Interest Program at Yale Law School. She plans a career in public interest law. In recognition of her exceptional record and promise of future success, Yale College proudly confers the Arthur Twining Hadley Scholarship Prize this year upon Connie Lu Wang. The Russell Henry Chittenden Prize is awarded annually for the senior majoring in the natural sciences or in mathematics who ranks highest in scholarship. This year's prize is awarded to Charles Gunnar Kinzig of Berkeley College. Charles Gunnar Kinzig was elected to Phi Beta Kappa in his junior year and graduates summa cum laude with distinction in molecular biophysics and biochemistry. But distinction truly extends to his entire academic record. He graduates with 37 credits, with every grade a straight A. I think he avoided my class because that would have just been would have taken him down. One of his biochemistry professors has commented, "I doubt if I could do as well as on one of my exams." Charles is an avid runner, serving as captain or co-captain of the running club for the past 2 years. He has volunteered at Haven Free Clinic, been a science and quantitative reasoning tutor for the Yale College Dean's Office, and last summer earned the Yale College Dean's Fellowship in the Sciences and Engineering for his research on the biological activity of the MALAT1 ENE, something I refer to during casual conversation as the metastasis-associated lung adenocarcinoma. The adenocarcinoma transcript 1 expression and nuclear retention element, and related RNA triplexes. I must have tried that 8 times. Next year, he will begin the Tri-I MD PhD program in New York, the tri-institutional degree from Weill Cornell, Rockefeller, and Sloan Kettering. In recognition of his unstinting commitment to academic excellence, Yale College proudly awards the Russell Henry Chittenden Prize to Charles Gunnar Kinzig. The Alpheus Henry Snow Prize is awarded to that senior who, through the combination of intellectual achievement, character, and personality, shall be adjudged by the faculty to have done the most for Yale by inspiring in his or her classmates an admiration and love for the best traditions of high scholarship. This year, the Snow Prize is awarded to Aaron Benjamin Berman of Saybrook College. Settle down, Saybrugians, you didn't win this prize. So, Aaron Berman's professors have characterized him as a standout and exceptionally creative. His academic achievements include graduating summa cum laude with distinction in his global affairs major, participating in the 5-year BA MPH program in public health and global affairs, and completing 41 course credits with a GPA of 3.96. He has been elected for Phi Beta Kappa, the Brady Johnson Program in Grand Strategy, the Global Health Studies Fellowship, the Les Aspen International Public Service Fellowship, and the Richard U. Light Fellowship for East Asian Language Study. With proficiency at the intermediate level or above in Portuguese and Spanish, in Cantonese and Mandarin Chinese, Aaron has conducted healthcare research in Cuba, Mexico, and China. For his senior capstone project in global affairs, he advised the Clinton Health Access Initiative on health workforce strengthening in Liberia, which has informed a manuscript on post-Ebola Liberia currently under peer review for the Bulletin of the World Health Organization. His contributions to Yale College include work as a community health educator, a communication and consent educator, and a freshman counselor. This summer, Aaron will serve as an intern with the Racial Justice Action Center in Atlanta, Georgia, under the auspices of Yale Law School's Global Health Justice Partnership. He will then return to Yale to complete his master's degree in public health. For the powerful differences his research and activism have made to a range of populations around the world, Yale College takes great pleasure in bestowing the Alpheus Henry Snow Prize upon Aaron Benjamin Berman.
Dean Holloway, Ambassador Power, esteemed administrators and faculty, Yale friends and families, and members of the class of... Hold on a second. Before I go on, because I'm up here, I just got to do the incredibly cliche thing and get a Snapchat of this tent. Right? This is an incredible tent. And I've seen a lot of tents. I'm a big tent guy, and this one is good. Cool, I'll think of a caption after. I'm sorry, that was weird. Where was I? Let me just start again. I'll just start again. Dean Holloway. Ambassador Power. Esteemed administrators and faculty, Yale friends and families, and members of the class of 2016. We did it! Ha! We're done! And this may not be the most popular thing to say right now, but good riddance. You know? Like, that was pretty fun. But at some point, enough is enough. And now, I am so done with this place. I cannot wait to leave. Truth bomb, I packed up my stuff in February, guys. I cleaned up my room, I put everything in boxes, and I shipped it on the back of a donkey home to Vermont, which is UPS's fastest service to Vermont. I've literally been wearing newspaper underwear for 3 months. Yes, I'm wearing it today, and yes, it's the YDN. But seriously, aren't you so done with Yale? Like, what's so great about this place? Oh, one-on-one interactions with the most innovative scholars and professionals in their fields. Psh. Ever heard of YouTube? All these classes are online now. Gaddis and I are going to be boys next year. And now we get to hang out whenever I want. And the best part is I can just pause him when I have to go to the bathroom or take a Game of Thrones character quiz on BuzzFeed. Yo, where are all my Joffreys at? Yeah? No? Winter King? All right, we'll meet after. We'll see you after. Anyways, what other cheesy things have people been saying about Yale this weekend? Oh, it gave me outlets for all of my greatest passions and generous funding for all of it. Yeah, big deal, Yale, if that is your real name. I've seen The Big Short, okay? As an adult, when you need money in this country, you walk into Goldman Sachs and they hand it to you, no strings attached. What else? Oh, well, sure. In my case, at Yale, I met the wonderful young woman who may very well be my future wife, in Toads of all places. But come on, I would have met Malia Obama if I hadn't gone here. Maybe at Harvard commencement in 5 years. Yeah, no, I really can't handle any more of this nostalgia. I don't know about you, but I'm completely emotionless about this weekend. Like, so what if, the smartest, funniest, kindest friends that I'll probably ever have, we're all living within a 5 minutes walk, ready to hang out or lend a hand or get a Wenzel? Oh, God. Members of the Yale College Class of 2016, what's everybody doing tonight? Because I think I'm realizing I'm trying to hang. I don't know, I heard maybe Signu was doing something, or maybe the Radio House. I guess Toads is off the table because we went so hard the roof was literally on fire last night. But, people will definitely be chilling hard in the Linwood, so that'd be cool for an earlier in the night chill vibe, but I'm definitely trying to get rowdy later. What, Jonathan? What? Dr. J, I'm trying to game plan right now with the 1,300 best friends I'll ever have, all right? I love these people, and all you need is love, right? Is that what you said? Don't you get it, man? It's all over. That's it. It's all over. On Tuesday, our bright college years are done. And I am realizing midstream, in the middle of this pre-written address, that I don't know if I'm going to be able to, take it all with me. I'm worried about that. Sure, okay, not everything was a highlight, I didn't get into David Brooks' seminar, so I filled his apartment with Bernie Sanders blow-up dolls, and sure, I was never even looked at by the heavyweight crew team, or any other athletic program for that matter, and the Yale cheerleading team took 2 baton twirlers over me. 2! So much for 7 summers of baton camp. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And sure, the pundits banned me from the finals naked run for reasons that my attorney has told me I cannot mention in this address. Okay, I photocopied my private parts in Bass. See, it's not a big deal. See, and it's a good thing it's not a big deal because now you're all legally accomplices. But we're gonna fight. We're gonna win this fight together. We're gonna clear my name, and I'm gonna win Malia back. Anyways, yes, Dr. J, all of this is 100% true. But this place is special to me, and I'm realizing right now I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take it all with me on Tuesday. Okay, whatever. Looks like Dean Holloway wants me to keep going to the end. So, if you know anything super dope going on tonight, email me. Whoa, I guess I should start transitioning to my non-Yale email? Oh my God. All right, well, you can get me at hoobastankfan1@earthlink.net. And in your email, let me know if my parents can come too, because I think they're trying to hang out and chill a little bit, celebrate their last kid becoming financially independent. Joke's on them, I'm an actor. But in all seriousness, members of the Yale College Class of 2016, thank you. Thank you for your talent, your kindness, your humor, your resilience, and your friendship for 4 incredible years. Even though we are leaving Yale, our time here will never leave us, and I'm excited to see what we can do. And again, this is a great tent. Thank you.
Today, we gather here on Old Campus, as many Yaleys have before us, to celebrate traditions that stretch back as far as 200 years, when Class Day was once known as Presentation Day. But before we speak about these traditions, including these wonderful hats, there is someone in particular we would like to thank. A certain someone who actually inspired our current choice of hats.
For a decade, Dr. Penelope Lawrence, the head of Jonathan Edwards College, has been the custodian of Class Day and of its traditions. It is with her guidance and her selflessness that Class Day has remained a day filled with tradition, reflection, and celebration. Next month, Dr. L will retire after 43 years of service to our university.
So, Dr. Lawrence, on behalf of the class of 2016 and senior classes that have preceded us, Ben and I would like to present you with this hat, a small token of our appreciation.
All right. That was a surprise. Today on Class Day, we celebrate the symbolic traditions that have been performed by the thousands of undergraduates who have come before us. As your Class Day chairs, Katine and I would like to share today's traditions with you. Seniors, if you look inside your gift bags, you will find a clay church warden pipe, a tradition that was first recorded by a member of the class of 1869. For the last 150 years on Class Day, seniors have brought these pipes outside, formed a circle of friends, and shared one last smoke together.
Or first smoke together. Beginning in 1851, graduating classes have also planted a sprig of ivy somewhere on campus, symbolic of the enduring natures of the friendships made at Yale. This year's ivy was planted at the foot of Phelps Gate and sits directly below the stone that bears our class year. Both the ivy and the stone will be a reminder to those entering and leaving campus of the class of 2016.
This year, we are also excited to continue a more recent tradition started in 2011. Seniors, each of you have been given the class anthology, a short collection of works written by our peers. This booklet contains the odes and speeches given here today, in addition to the submissions of this year's finalists. In future years, refer back to this anthology to reflect on our time here in the Elm City.
Before today's festivities end with the singing of our alma mater, we will view a fun twist on an old tradition. Since 2007, the class history has been delivered as a short film rather than a series of speeches. Written, produced, and directed by our peers, a copy of this short film will be preserved in the collections of the Beinecke Library.
And even more permanently, perhaps, on YouTube. No matter how these traditions have changed over time, the spirit of Class Day has remained the same. Today, we pay homage to the rich traditions that characterize this exciting time in our lives. We hope that you enjoy these traditions and that in some way, they strengthen the ties between friends that have made this place our home. So, without further ado, we leave you with the Ivy Ode.
Congratulations, class of 2016. Congrats.
Here, the day comes to rest as I sit with time on a cobblestone path and we share our stories. She asks me about my tears, about the times my heart could not hold the things that brought me to this moment, like war and fear and love. I tell her, I found solace at a cherry table in Commons, in the smiling belly of my residential college, in the beaten path up Science Hill, in fair trade coffee, Durfee's runs, and late nights spilling over textbooks or the smiling bellies of my new friends. In New Haven, who has opened her arms to me, though I know her only by name. In the places that have loved my heart into a door that only opens.
in the secret gargoyles that frame my walks across this elm city. And when the city sheds her skin, the leaves of colors that once meant fire to me, that once meant bombs and broken futures, begin to mean a fresh start. Another page turned in this Bear All saga, 4 years in the making. 4 years. We found our sisters here, and our brothers, and our voices fighting harder than they have ever done before. We've made our homes here, taught the buildings to learn our names. We found our lives here, left our palm prints in the architecture. We've gazed up at the sky as the color blue began to share its meaning with each and every one of us. And as the snow begins to kiss my skin, I notice how dark it is, how it sings of midnight and forgotten histories. And I am reminded of each and every person who has strived an entire lifetime so we can decorate the most vibrant years of our lives so far. This school is our beginning, so here's to the start, to always starting something loud and beautiful and unapologetically ours. Here's to the others, those with us and those we've lost. Here's to our loved ones and the strangers we have come to call family. Here's to one another, to this rolling sea of faces that has come to mean my Yale. Here's to the songs we've written together and the twilights we've shared. As I stand here, all ebony and woman and still breathing, my memories of the genocide and the many histories we come from lead into images of a future brimming with the people that have walked beside us, of a world ready to receive us, like a door that only opens. Thank you, we did it.
This is the Class Day film.
For the class of 2016.
We hope you enjoy it.
Ready, Jane?
Dad and I are going to miss you so much, but we're so proud of you.
Any questions? We've all been there, and I know how overwhelming it feels. It can be hard to know where to start, which is why we have these.
We already got our books.
These books are a little different. They're magical guidebooks designed to help you make decisions throughout your time here at Yale.
Let me guess, you'll be handing out the wands next.
No. Ask them a question, and they'll show you a possible path to take. Give it a shot, wise guy.
Okay. Oh, magical book. Who should I eat dinner with tonight? What the?
Try eating with your Froco group. Many Yaleys are still good friends with people they meet in these meetings.
Just make sure to use them wisely. The answer they give might not be right for you. College is all about finding your own path. Well, that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Except between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. tonight, because I'll be waist to deep in schoolwork. And I'm off duty. Froco out.
Hey, Jane. Want to grab dinner?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. What's a good class to take?
Introductory Microeconomics is a stimulating introductory level course.
Yuck, bad. But I guess if the book says so.
Hey Jane, did you see the group meet? Where do you want to go get dinner?
Where should I get dinner tonight?
Try Morse and Styles. With 2 seating areas, you'll almost always be able to find a place to sit with your friends.
How about Morse and Styles?
Sure. Oh, and are you gonna check out the extracurricular bazaar later?
Do you want kids to die of malaria?
No?
Then put your name down so I can send you emails till your eyes bleed.
Do you sing?
Do you dance?
Do you like to drum? Want to play early music in a hot air balloon? Ever thought about singing? Frisbee!
Are you funny? Or are you funny looking?
Join Yale's largest club. Over 40,000 members.
For the love of Christ, tell me you can sing.
What activities should I sign up for?
It never hurts to sign up for a panelist. You never know what you might be passionate about.
Well, I guess it couldn't hurt, right?
So is that a yes on the dance?
Are you having fun? He is cute. Are you okay? Cute. Can we go home? Should I take Taylor home?
Always better to be safe than sorry.
I have to leave.
It is safety dance after all.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
You guys okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you don't want a Ruby hanging out here. Let me walk you home.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm Jane, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
How's your night going?
How's yours going?
It's good. I'm tired. Just a second.
You ready?
Hey, you know where you're spending Nemo? I'll go with Alex, Sam, and Logan. Do you know him?
Haven't really thought about it.
Well, if you're not doing anything, feel free to come hang.
Everything okay in there? Should I spend Nemo with Riley's friends?
Spending time with friends of friends is a great way to meet new people.
Yeah, I'll hang with you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's had a good class. Yeah, good reviews. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, I have to go to the post office. You want to come? Yeah, sure. See me spot, I'll catch up. Okay. Hi there. Is this Handsome Dan? I'm Jane. He looks just like my Daisy at home.
Oh, you got a bulldog too? Wow. You know, actually, I'm looking for someone to help walk Dan every now and then. I wouldn't trust anybody but a fellow bulldog lover.
I'd love to, but, hold on a second. Do I have time for this? Thank goodness. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, great.
How are you?
Good. That mac and cheese was tasty.
Yeah?
My favorite.
Jane! I don't keep that
Jane,
recipe
do you go to the hockey game tonight? It'll be a blast. Here. Should I go to the hockey game tonight? Sorry, Logan. Looks like I'm staying in tonight. Oh, Jane!
Yale took on Quinnipiac in a Titans battle tonight.
Yes.
It was physical and hard fought, but in the end, Yale
We won! We won! Where were you? We scored off a power play in double overtime. Why weren't you there? I wanted to, but
The Frozen
my
Four
book said I
draws to
should
a
stay in
close
tonight.
with Yale crowned
Whoa,
national
you
champions
missed a hell of a
for the first time
game.
in their storied history.
You ever think that maybe the book doesn't have all the answers? Oh, crap! I have to declare a major by midnight.
Haven't picked a major yet?
I can't decide between history of art and econ.
Well, that's great. At least they're super similar.
Riley. What about that Buddhist art class, freshman year?
Don't you hate math?
What should my major be? History of art or econ?
14% of Yaleys major in economics and often go into stable job markets such as consulting and banking. In 2013, econ majors had a median starting salary 1.4 times higher than art history majors. You know, I remember when I was just a young moleskin. I had such dreams of becoming a novel. But then I started... Oh, I'm
dropping some terrifying adult knowledge here, book.
I mean, do you really want to do consulting? You applied for that MoMA internship. That sounded perfect for you.
Yeah, I know, but...
All right, I could help you prep for interviews if you'd like.
So, Jane, if that's your real name, what was the first thing that you noticed when you entered this room?
You're wearing sunglasses inside?
Immaterial. What's 424 times 890?
Wait, what?
How many apples would it take to fill this room?
Granny Smith or Honeycrisp?
Honeycrisp, of course. What did I have for breakfast?
Pancakes? Cereal. Poached eggs with turmeric and tomatoes.
Unbelievable. Eggs Benedict. Get out of my face.
Hey, Jane. You taking a date to Masquerade, or
Do I need to go with someone?
do you even want my opinion?
If there's someone you want to take, yes. Otherwise, going with friends is just as fun.
'Cause you won't let me in.
How do I fix a broken zipper?
I would suggest you...
Hey! What should I do if I witness a kidnapping?
It's generally inadvisable to intervene in a crime in progress. Call the police and make sure of your own safety first.
Hello, Jane.
He's gone.
Handsome Dan is gone?
What?
Good afternoon, I'm Anderson Cooper. In domestic news, iconic Yale mascot Handsome Dan has been shockingly stolen in broad daylight from the university's old campus. Now, the campus is a shambles.
Someone. I don't know who.
Why didn't you do something?
I tried. I checked my book, but it said not to interfere.
Your book? You can't think for yourself sometimes, you know?
I tried. I know he had brown hair.
Anything a little more descriptive?
I'm thinking. He was carrying a big brown crate, and he had a sweater. I think it was red or reddish.
Well, that's enough to start. Everybody split up and look for a man with a red sweater.
Full emergency operations. Activate the crisis center. Mass email to all students.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we're following major breaking news right now. I'm Will Flitzer, and you're in the Situation Room. Sources at Yale University have now confirmed that the school's famed mascot, Handsome Dan, was dog-napped earlier this afternoon.
Oh my God, handsome.
This is a sad day indeed. Investigators are at a loss.
Wait, who's Handsome Dan?
The mascot, dog. You can't steal a dog. You monster. You monsters.
I thought you were talking about just a hot guy.
I thought so too, and I was still concerned.
He could be anywhere by now.
But we gotta keep looking. Hey, Bill!
Hey, Jane. Did you hear about Handsome Dan? It's a doggone tragedy.
I need your help. Have you seen anyone wearing a red sweater and maybe carrying a brown crate?
Yeah, a few minutes ago. He jumped on the Blue Line shuttle. Looked a little nervous.
Blue Line? He's headed for the train station. Thanks, Bill.
No problem.
train leaves in 32 minutes.
Don't you get it? He's gone. And it's all my fault. All because I couldn't make a stupid decision without my book.
Hey, come on.
What now?
We go home.
Jane.
Hey, Bill.
Was it a red sweater or a crimson sweater?
Crimson, maybe?
Eileen, was that a crimson sweater?
Yeah, can you hold on for a sec?
What do you think we've been doing?
Yeah, crimson sweater, carrying a big crate, in a hurry too.
Yeah.
Where was he headed?
To the helipad.
Y'all know about the helipad?
Stay back.
What a crackpot Harvard student.
They must have been trying to take Handsome Dan and use him as their mascot.
Makes sense. Imagine cheering for Crimson.
Yeah, crimson's a color, not a mascot.
Those poor kids.
Sorry, Jane.
It's okay.
Hi, guys. What did I miss?
More breaking news this afternoon. We are now excited to report a happy conclusion to the continuing saga of Handsome Dan. He was rescued thanks to the heroic efforts of a joint mission between student sleuths and campus police in a dramatic raid at the Yale helipad. Welcome home, Dan. Welcome home.
Hey, Jane.
Yeah, what's up?
Where do you want to go to dinner?
Let's go to Commons. I haven't eaten there since freshman year.
Wait, really? I eat there every Tuesday after seminar.
Hey, by the way, do you know what happened to my coffee table?
Nothing.
Here's to you, class of 2016. Congratulations.
It's for Yale.
The entire college of Yale?
It was for graduation.
What up, y'all? Congratulations to the class of 2016. What's up, baby?
Congratulations, Yale College Class.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Wow, congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, class of 16. Come back home to Yale often.
Congratulations, Yale College Class of 2016.
Congratulations, Yale College Class of 2016.
Yale College? What is it, Yale?
Yale College refers to like the undergraduates.
Congratulations to the Yale College Class of 2016. I wish you guys a lot of love, a lot of happiness, a lot of success. What do you think? Peace.
Maybe just congratulations from the Try Guys. Yeah. Congratulations from the Try Guys
To the Yale graduating class of 2016.
Nailed it.
I die a little bit, and I know you feel it too. But when you cry a little bit,
please rise for the alma mater.
I wish that I could join you.
The shortest
coming, and congratulations again, class of 2016.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.